All right, Leslie with Frog Dog here, talking with you about trends today. So the Frog Dog team has identified 7 key trends happening right now that we really feel that all businesses should keep in mind when they're considering their overall marketing planning, their messaging, and their activities. Let's jump right in. So Google and other search engines are providing answers to questions directly in the search results and not sending people off their search engine to other websites. This means that there's a trend against getting a lot of traffic directly from the search engines. It's still there, but it is becoming harder and harder because the search engines want to keep people on their website, not send them to yours. That sounds like a bad thing, right? Because if you're not getting traffic from search engines, even when you directly answer a question that's asked, that's going to inevitably hurt your overall traffic, your overall brand awareness, and of course, your overall sales. So there are, fortunately, ways to capture that. What are those ways? Think about additional digital traffic that can drive people directly to your website and not to the search engines. That includes email marketing, display advertising, email blasts, working with publications to get banner ads on their websites or even banner ads in their email newsletters. These types of tactics and other types of tactics will really help continue to build overall traffic and visibility to your website. If you are really going to rely on the search engines, and everyone still should, think about paying for that traffic. Consider PPC, consider remarketing and retargeting. Think about buying advertising directly through the search engines. They all have platforms where you can advertise. Consider doing so. And also think about other websites in your industry or that your clients work with or look at that might be really great places to get the word out about what you do, whether that's for placing an ad where they'll link back to your website or collaborating with another business to create traffic from each of your websites. There's lots of possibilities. You just need to be a little more creative. Key trend number 2 is authenticity is even more important than ever before. People talked about it a lot in the past, but it was more talk and a lot less action. Now it's critical. Content that features users of your products, people who work at the company that you work with, people in your supply chain, partners and vendors, folks in your overall warehouses and factories and shops. Show content of people creating and using your offering, whether that's a product or a service or a mix of both, right? And the more real and not polished that content, the better, right? So don't have a perfect setup with a model and beautiful, pet and house that's immaculate. That's no longer getting the response it might have once before. People are really craving other people and advertising and marketing that looks like them, that feels like them, and that seems to come from real people. Key trend number 3, the cult of personality is now a religion. It's evolved. Whereas before people said you have to have charisma and personality and people respond to people, they don't respond to stuff. Now they really much are looking for other people. So look around your company, within your company, or even to partners, and find people within your organization who can be a personality for your business, right? How can you overall build influencers within your organization that can speak to your target audience from that place of authenticity we talked about in key point number 2? So don't feel like it has to be an outside influencer, although those are valuable as well. It could be somebody you cultivate from inside as well. If you go to outside influencers, look not just for the big mega names that have thousands and thousands, if not millions of followers. Consider also very much more what we call micro-influencer type of people who might only have a few followers, but they could very much be the people you want to reach. Key trend number 4, data is critical right now. People want visual information in data graphic form if they can get it, right? So try to include more infographics that use data, tell stories with data, do data visualization. If you can, to get this, do original research. Do your own research with your own segment of the industry, your own customer base, whatever you have that you can talk to and get that information direct from the source. But don't shy away from collecting available data and analyzing it through your own lens. That's possible too. So just remember, if you do original data, original research, or if you have really come up with an interesting and new analysis on existing data, write a press release and distribute it on the wires, because that'll give you some cross-linking back to your website. And as we talked about in key point number 1, traffic from elsewhere on the web and not just search engines is becoming more and more important. So those press releases put out on the wire will help drive you some website traffic. And who doesn't like that right now? And to really encourage that linking outside of the search engines and off search engine from other sites, consider enlisting some PR folks, right? And those could be people who aren't just approaching the big major newspapers, as great as those are, but they could also be people who are interacting with journalists online, building relationships via Twitter, featuring information, publicizing information. The more you can get picked up in other websites as possible, right? Even if it's not a major newspaper online, that's great. That's going to drive traffic to your website. It's going to drive brand awareness. It helps with authenticity to have a third party talking about you, saying good things about your company. That's huge. So really, you're seeing these trends tie together, right? And authenticity, real information, third parties playing into this. This is all getting more and more important today. Key point number 6. Social media continues to evolve. Right now, it's really evolved in 3 ways. 1, if you want to get conversions, you're going to have pay for them. So you need to have some straight up advertising going on and not expect that organic posts are going to get you signups or sales. Number 2, personal profiles are much more powerful than individual company profiles or brand profiles. So you still need to have a brand profile, but you will want to use it differently. And you should expect to overall build the awareness via the personal profiles of people in your sales team, your C-suite, and your customer relations team. So given that that's the case, you should work with those teams closely, provide them a lot of guidance, and really talk about the type of overall awareness and branding you're looking to get. And number 3, social media platforms are much less valuable today for driving traffic to your website than they are for building overall engagement and awareness on their platform. So posting a link on the social media platform and asking people to go back to your website is getting a lot less success than posting the content directly on the social media platform and interacting with people on that social media platform. So as you create content going forward, that's something very, very important to keep in mind. Key point number 7. We would be remiss not to mention that over the last year or so, a lot has changed in the world. And toward that end, a lot of people are staying home a lot more than they used to, or at least staying closer to whatever home base used to be. Doesn't mean they're not going out, doesn't mean they're not going to the office, but they're not ranging quite as far, and they're not ranging quite as often as they might have in the recent past. Therefore, it's very important to first try to consider ways you can pivot your product or service or both to accommodate people who are staying home or staying in the office much more than ever before. For example, I recently encountered an escape game company that created an actual escape game online via video conferences for employees and groups of friends to join in and have that kind of team building or social event. It was really brilliant. It saved their company to have an online offering of something that in the past had really only been bricks and mortar, in-person type of event. So really think creatively there. Second thing to think about when it comes to your overall marketing mix, really look into the types of activities, the types of digital marketing, and the types of at-home traditional marketing that you could be doing to reach people much more close to whatever their center of life might be, right? So digital marketing that enters into the home is going to be more important than ever. And not just into the home, but also into personal devices and personal email boxes and personal cell phones. But then also something that's very important to think about is that traditional marketing is extremely effective. What do I mean by traditional marketing? Broadcast is a type of traditional marketing. That includes things like podcast, in addition to terrestrial radio and TV, which still have a lot of play, but also consider direct mail. If you can get home addresses, it's incredibly powerful right now. We're seeing huge results there. So think about whatever ways you can reach into people's homes or into their personal mind space as much as possible. That sounds creepy. Don't mean it that way. But you'll get the most success possible by doing that. All right, and that's it. So that's 7 trends we're really seeing play out right now, and we think it's very important to share with you so that you can take them into account as you plan going forward. We're going to continue to keep all of these things top of mind. We'll put out another video if we see new trends happening we want to make you aware of. And of course, as always, we'd love to help. So if we can help you think about how to take these trends into account for your own marketing, we'd love to do that. So just schedule a free consultation on our website, give us a call, send us an email, whatever works, and we would love to speak with you. Thanks.